Now, a lot of my really good friends are Scorpios, and something that I love about them is that they're so loyal, and especially the woman. Hi everyone, welcome back to Not Time. My name is Hali. So grateful to have you all. Let's get into this fun video. I've been doing these astrology videos. They were recommended by a member, and I do 5 of my favorite and 5 of my least favorite celebrities of a specific zodiac sign. And today, as I record this video, we have entered the season of Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is my favorite season. I have such a love for Scorpios, even though some of the men can be troublesome, and we'll get to that when we talk about my least favorite Scorpio celebrities. As a sun in Aquarius, I love mystery, and I think this more has to do with the Capricorn placements in my chart and my Pluto Scorpio, but I just have this affinity towards dark, and I don't mean like I don't know. I just have affinity towards the darkness. And I don't mean like in a negative, evil way. But I just mean in like, when I was younger, I used to really be afraid of darkness in terms of, dark movies. I don't like scary movies at all. But, for example, movies like Beetlejuice, like Tim Burton, for example. Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands. I love Edward Scissorhands, one of my favorite movies of all time. And just stuff like that where you have to delve deeper, and I think Scorpios are great at that. They have such a good connection with the underworld. That's what I mean by the underworld. They get it, a lot of my really good friends are Scorpios, and something that I love about them is that they're so loyal, and especially the woman. I found them to be very loyal, very honest, but honest in a loving way. I remember I have one of my dearest friends. I was going through a situation and I had to take accountability too for it. I was going through a situation with a man, and she told me the truth. She told me that you need to take accountability, and I appreciated that because she didn't talk about me behind my back. She said it to my face, and that's something that I love about Scorpios. They'll tell you directly what you need to hear. Kind of opposite to how I feel about Libras, which was the past zodiac season. Something that I love, just in general, Scorpio is 23rd of October to the 22nd of November. I believe 22nd of November, or 21st, excuse me. And yeah, I'm a huge fan. They're ruled by Pluto. And it's not Neptune. Oh my gosh, why is it escaping my mind right now? But they're ruled by 2 signs. Is it Neptune? No, it's not Neptune. It's Pluto, and there's another sign it's ruled by. Excuse me, I forgot right now. But they're ruled by 2 signs, and both are about transformation and becoming better versions of yourself. So, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Scorpios. Happy Scorpio season. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. I have such a love for your sign and love for Scorpios in general. So, my 5 favorite Scorpio celebrities, and this is just based on different things, not necessarily them as a person. So, I don't know them personally. This is just my personal opinion, and yeah. So, and I'll explain why I've chosen them. So, my first is Katy Perry. As somebody, I'm a huge fan of Katy Perry's music. People are trying to say recently, and that's your opinion. If you have the same opinion, I'm not going to say that you are bad for having that opinion, because you can say that her music sucks these days and stuff like that. I'm still a fan of her music. I love Lifetimes. I love, I've gone through some serious breakups in my life, especially in the past 10 years, 10 to 15 years, when I look back at when I became an adult. But a lot of her songs have gotten me through tough times, like Wide Awake got me through my biggest breakup. She has a lot of music that will lift you up, and I love that. It's like fun, easygoing, spiritual. She gets it. She gets the spiritual world. When I hear her speak on podcasts, I recently was listening to her on my way to New York, and she did a Call Her Daddy, and I was listening to her speak about how she is very much into the occult world, and the occult is not bad. It just means things that are unseen. And yeah, I really like that. I appreciate that about Scorpios, because they get it. They get the underworld. They get the occult and the spiritual practices that go with it. Sometimes not so good, but they get tarot, they get astrology. Most Scorpios I know are very much into that. That's why I get along very well with Scorpio women, very, very well. Because even if they don't like you, they won't engage with you. Because, you know, especially as I get older, I'm not in the business of being liked. I'm not alive to be liked. But I am alive to be truthful and honest and have integrity. And I feel like Scorpios align with that, you know. So second is Anne Hathaway. And the reason why I chose her, in fact, I was not a big Anne Hathaway fan. I wouldn't say I was critical of her, but I just felt, and this was me judging her, and I apologize for that, but I just felt like she was like very cookie cutter. And as I've gotten older, she is what, like 5 years older than I am, but I feel like I've grown up with her. And as I've gotten older, I've understood that she was probably going through a very tough time when she was in her early 20s and being an actress, you know, in Hollywood and all that stuff, because she was a child star. We forget that. So the reason I'm giving her this is because recently a journalist came out and showed a video of how Anne Hathaway was just not very nice to her or kind to her during an interview. And something that Anne Hathaway did was she apologized to that journalist, and I applaud her. I'm big on people apologizing for what they've done wrong, and it's such a beautiful trait when somebody can say sorry and be vulnerable enough to humble yourself enough to say sorry, you know. And she said she was sorry, and for that she's on my top list, because I think that, like I said, if you've done something wrong, apologize. And if you really felt like you've done wrong, apologize and explain why, you know. Not give it an excuse, but explain why. And she said she was going through some issues and so forth, but I just really, really appreciate that. But I feel like that about Scorpios. For example, I had a colleague, she was a Scorpio, and she kind of got hot-tempered, which is very typical of Scorpios. Not all, but some. And every time she would get in a mood or something, she would always apologize. And she would say, I'm sorry for being like this. I was going through this. And I really appreciate that quality. Third is Lisa Bonet, and some of you know her from different shows and so forth and so forth. She was on the Cosby Show, The Daughter. I didn't watch the Cosby Show that much, so I'm not really relating it to that. But what I love about Lisa Bonet, I think she's done a beautiful job raising her children. I don't know them personally, but from what I've seen through examples, you know, her children are very elegant, classy, and she just has this air of grace. And she doesn't buy into the Hollywood BS. She just seems like a very humble, grounded, and soulful person. And I thoroughly appreciate that about her. So yeah, that's why she's number 3. Number 4 is Tandy Newton and Tandiwe. That's her full name. Tandiwe Newton, which I believe means love, the loved one. It's Zulu, and it means the loved one, Tandiwe, if I remember correctly. So I used to speak Zulu. My gosh, or understand it now. It's gone really bad. But because I haven't lived in South Africa for a long time, and I don't really speak Zulu to anybody, so I don't remember it that much. I can understand it, but it's very difficult for me to speak it, you know. But what I love about Tandy Newton is same thing, similar idea to Lisa Bonet. She comes across humble. I don't know her as a person, classy, demure, mindful. But she just seems as though she doesn't buy, and this is a quality I love about Scorpios. They don't buy into the Hollywood BS. We'll get into the worst ones, and we'll talk about that. But as a whole, they don't get into this, you need to like me, I need to be popular, which is a trait I can't stand. As a Sun and Aquarius, I can't stand when people force being liked, force being the fake thing, and they get it too. Scorpios get it too. I can't do the fake. I just cannot do the fake. It just something inside of me. And the last one is Whoopi Goldberg. Not because of her political views. I don't like that she's very sometimes comes across on the show she does The View very angry and stuff like that. But so I'm not endorsing at all how she thinks politically. But something that I really love about Whoopi Goldberg, she was in Sister Act, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Sister Act, 1, 2, and 3. And I remember, this is so monumental for me because when I moved back to New York, I was living with my sister at the time. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get emotional. And I was having a hard time because I was 19. I was having a hard time finding a job. It took me like 2 weeks to find a job. And because who wants to hire a 19-year-old, that's not McDonald's. So I was like looking for a real proper job. And I remember the day that I got the job, I was on my way to the interview. And I was staying at the time in the Upper East Side on 71st, I believe, and York Avenue. My gosh, it was so long ago. And as I was walking to the interview, I saw through the window of the hospital, Lenox Hill Hospital, I saw Whoopi Goldberg. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love Whoopi Goldberg. This is so exciting. I was in such a good mood. And I got the job. And I really feel like she was my good luck charm to getting that job. I stayed at that job for a long time, on and off, 4 years. So I really appreciated that. It was... when I saw her, I was like, I'm gonna get the job, I'm feeling so good. And before that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I have no money. But she was my good luck charm. And even though sometimes she can be mean on The View and stuff like that, I think The View has actually become a very toxic show. I used to watch it, but I don't watch it anymore. But I will always have that special place in my heart for Whoopi Goldberg because she was my good luck charm. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. So that was 16 years ago, but I remember it and I'm very, very grateful. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. I love you all. If you are a Scorpio, I wish you only the best. Happy birthday. Like I said, this is my favorite season. I have a very special place in my heart for Scorpios. You guys are no BS, see right through the fake, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Really, really, really appreciate that. So I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.